How did people get rich or financially comfortable? Curious to know how people made it, and it doesn't have to be Millionaire made it, but even your bought a house story or just your financial growth story from the ground up. What did you start with? What do you have now? How long did it take and what did you do? Meet some inspiration as a trying 26-year-old. Realize that the only way to get wealthy is through leverage. Property is easiest, business, stocks, crypto possible, but much harder. In paid employment, your leverage is 1:1 with your time. The potential return of that investment is also capped. Whereas, with business you can leverage other people's time to an unlimited cap, and with crypto property and stocks you can leverage other people's money, again uncapped but risky. I'm 54. Left school at 16. While working in a shop, I taught myself how to write computer software. Turns out that's been a pretty well-paid occupation for the last 35 plus years. The future's a little more uncertain for the next generation because of AI, but it served me well. Once I finished traveling, I budgeted well, saved money for 3 years, luckily bought a house in a cheaper region for $450K just before it really took off. I didn't have any help and my deposit was only 8%. Then completed all the renos myself as I'm a builder by trade, so saved a lot of money there. I'm not rich, but I'm happy. I am from a lower middle class background, no university degree. I made my money from my own business, kept expenses low while still having some nice things going on holidays, saved and invested nearly all profits. I invested into property and stocks, with most paying dividends. For property, I went development route, but hindsight I should have probably just bought existing property like most. Building is a tough, long process. To summarize, unless you are working for yourself, have some insanely specialized career, or have a rich family, it's pretty hard to get ahead. My business took several years to really pay off, but you make a lot more for yourself when things work out. That's how I got my financial independence anyway. I got a degree. Worked hard. Overseas experience. Became an owner. Saved a significant portion of my income. Didn't get sucked into consumerism. Invested in low-cost index funds. Worked hard and lived in my means. Up until 2 years ago, I had a $25 phone. We also packed shelves at our supermarket after hours and got a lot of leftover deli food which saved on groceries. You don't need a lot of things, my friend. From a lower middle class family, always struggling for money growing up. Bought first home at 31 years old with my wife. Married well, she earns as much as me. We are both super frugal and work super hard. Now 4 years old and in our second home. The first one is mortgage free. Hard work and frugality has paid off. Came from a very poor, very hard life. Got a degree, self-directed study, which was time-based, so I paid very little and did 3 years worth in 1 year. Got a job right before I finished and am still there 10 years later. I work my ass off for the right things, not just pay but good management, better hours, etc. After 10 years of relentless work and never giving in, I now work whatever hours I want, doing the work I want, very specialized in software and automation development work. I get paid over 3 times what I did when I started and have more benefits than I thought imagined for people who value me first and foremost as a person rather than employee, who respect my opinion and skills very highly. I have absolute job security and the ability to take/get any job I want in the industry. My trajectory is still to be earning about double what I do now before I need to specialize further or change. We save well, but I like to enjoy life and buy the things that matter regardless of what they cost: food, experiences, education, etc. My job has allowed me to work from home, supporting my niece who lives with us to do her schooling remotely, and has allowed my partner to stop full-time work and further herself through study. Success is usually where consistent hard work meets opportunities. My story is a prime example. I have done nothing short of working hard since I was a child, but I still only succeeded due to opportunities presented to me and a big splash of luck. I have a degree, became a nurse. Husband worked his way up and only did a couple of business papers. He's on more money, but we're both on a reasonable income. We purchased as soon as we could after I had finished studying. We only had 10% deposit, but paid as much as we could on our mortgage on top of what we had to. It makes such a difference to how much you end up paying. We then slowly did our first house up. I painted the full outside and roof while on maternity leave. Hubby redid kitchen, laundry, we painted, and we sold for $270K more than we bought. We thought prices were high in 2015 when we bought it. Our incomes weren't high at the time, but we knew it was better to be putting our money on a mortgage than on rent. Now we hope to be mortgage free in about 10 years and are in a house worth double our first home. I'm 31. We wouldn't consider ourselves rich, but life is pretty comfortable. We have 3 kids and have enough for holidays, etc. Got a degree, worked hard to get as much experience as I could, moved overseas to take a job at a risky startup, worked harder than ever, exited, kept working hard in management roles after that, had kids, slowed down, and that's where I'm at now. There's a lot of bitter people posting on this thread about buying or not buying houses. I passed the opportunity to buy a house in Melbourne for $430K 10 years ago. It's probably worth triple that now. I could darkly ruminate on that till the end of my days, but missing that opportunity gave me the mobility to move to NZ, which really kick-started my career. Life provides you with lots of opportunities if you're paying attention. Most of those opportunities require something of you, though. Typically, the requirement is hard work, risk, or money. Okay, so my advice to you is be patient and wait for the magic of compound to work in your favor. I came from a fairly poor background, and at 26 my net worth was still negative with a large student loan. At 30 it was barely positive, at 40 it was plus 500K, at 50 XX times that. We have maintained a high savings rate over the years and invested fairly well, mainly in markets rather than via property. I can't stress enough how important the phrase, quote, to be fearful when others are greedy and to be greedy only when others are fearful really is. Believed in myself, started a business with an inheritance of $5,000, yes, only, but still grateful, and worked hard. Turned over $500,000 in the 3rd year in the business and paid all mortgage off. We didn't spend much till we became mortgage free. Now our revenue and profit are lower thanks to COVID and recession, but we're comfortable, and we started to spend some money for ourselves to enjoy life. Main spendings are to see my elderly parents overseas and enjoy holidays with our children. I don't understand that people saying don't have kids or pets. Enjoying life is more important than just saving if that's what you want. I'm in my mid to late 30s, went to uni, did the OE thing and spent practically all of my savings on travel. My net worth went from negative, student loan, to $4 to $5 million in the last 5 years. Here's my take. If you want to be really comfortable, you need to do something where you are not selling your hourly time. That means you need to have knowledge that creates tremendous value, or you need to start a business where you can either use technology that can replicate yourself, for example AI, or hire people who are happy to work for an hourly wage. Geo arbitrage also helps. My business can run from anywhere, so in the early years I lived in super cheap countries, which allowed me to survive comfortably when I was only making a couple of thousand a month. If your job allows you to work from anywhere, this is one way you can quickly increase your savings and invest. Outside of that, regularly investing savings, not wasting money on stupid shit like depreciating assets and loans on said assets, not really applicable for everyone, but I haven't owned a car for more than 10 years. Heck, I still don't own any property. After increasing your net worth, you will need to value your time. My entire life I spent saving money wherever possible. $5 a night hostels. Maybe I would walk instead of cab. I would make coffees every day instead of buying. Cook every day. I would book the cheapest flights disregarding number of stopovers, etc. I had to learn to be happy with spending more on things if it gives me more time to work on my business, co-working spaces, gyms at my apartment, Uber Eats food/coffee, paying more to live nearer to my co-working space, etc. Still fly economy. However, I still can't wrap my head around how anyone can justify those unless they are all on meta more than me. As a lot of people have already said here, it is more about what you spend instead of what you earn, assuming you earn something half decent. We are a young family with a daughter and second child due shortly, and we live very comfortably on under $70,000 a year without accessing accommodation supplement, childcare subsidy, and only a small amount of WFF. I myself own my business and my wife barely works, but we have full flexibility and live a simple lifestyle but don't really lack anything. Starting a trades business is what got me a house. Had worked in this industry since age 16. Started the business at 27. It was long hours and stressful, but within 2 years I turned $20,000 startup money into a house deposit. Sold the business now and have gone back to a 9-to-5 for one of the big players in the industry, living comfortably. Got a degree. Got a stock standard grad job in my field. Luckily, I was able to stay with parents and just paid board to them, was miserable AF and depressed by the experience though. Never went out with friends, or basically anything fun that cost money, skipped all the boys' trips, etc. Did cheapo date nights once a week, spending max $30 for the two of us. Kept this up for 2 years, at which point I'd accumulated about $80,000. My partner did the same but had less due to their parents needing financial support, and still do. Pooled our money together and bought one of the cheapest homes in Auckland and just recently upgraded to something more livable thanks to some capital gains from getting in early and a few good raises to support a bigger mortgage. I brought secondhand wherever possible. Didn't get sucked into the flashy clothes or the flashy car. Brought everything cash up, no credit or payments. Can't pay cash equals can't afford it. I brought a house when I was 34. Keep your mind on the long game. Make room to have fun and enjoy the trip, but be mindful of the goal. Run own business, very rarely take a holiday, don't waste money on unnecessary purchases. Pay down debt as fast as possible. Now living comfortable, hopefully be retiring before 40 or 50 at the latest. I'm 26 and always wondered this. My parents/family are immigrants with no education and have done their best. They own a property in Auckland, purchased a long time ago. I think that has been the biggest difference. A single salary in 5 years would have been able to pay off a property about 20 years ago. 5x my salary is around $800,000. I can't get anything equivalent to what my parents purchased for $800,000 now. I went and got a tertiary education to get a job. I can say provided you don't spend reckless you should be good. Just spend, enjoy life and invest wise. 5 to 10% growth over years will get you rich. That's it. The key is to just do your best. I made basically all the wrong decisions early in life and will be paying those off for a few more years at least. I literally tell most younger people don't go to uni unless you're absolutely sure, and even then wait until your mid-20s, do an OE if possible to broaden horizons and get some socializing and life experience. I just did everything I was told to do. Study something I'm good at, work hard, depend on myself. It took me until last year to realize none of it mattered in the end. If you're looking to be rich, like proper rich, you probably need to strike it lucky with business or property, both of which will usually require a fair bit of starting capital. Something my dad once told me was there are only 2 ways to make money: doing work or taking risks. The implication of that is that risk and return are opposite sides of the same coin, and that those thinking they have a surefire way to make significant money have probably not correctly evaluated risk. I'm not rich by any means, but I do have a house with a low mortgage. For me, it was getting into sales and earning over $100,000 since I was 23. Now I'm 34, earning close to $180,000, which is actually terrible growth when adjusted for inflation, and very comfortable. My wife earns $120K, that also helps a lot. Not sure if this is good advice, but changing jobs often definitely helped grow my earnings. In the last 10 years I haven't stayed at a job longer than 1.5 years. Never questioned it. Some of that was contracting though, where short term is pretty acceptable. Usually get at least a $10K bump with every job change. I'm not fussed with having new or fancy things either anymore. That's helped me save a lot more. Thanks for watching and being on the road to Reddit Millionaire with us. So, what is your plan to become financially comfortable? Let us know. Until next one.